How's it going, trainers? Coming at you with an Incineroar Infernape double stage 2 mashup. This has been some of my favorite deck building to explore in Pokemon Pocket, with Rare Candy acting as kind of a pseudo stage 1 for both of the lines. These decks have felt more consistent than they've ever been in the past, and we have double powerful payoffs that we can rush to ASAP. Incineroar feels like the perfect complement to Infernape, because after Infernape blasts for 140 damage, taking a knockout very quickly, you can retreat it for free back to Incineroar, who can start applying pressure for a single damage, cracking for effectively 50 or more per turn cycle with its burn, while you build that Infernape back up again in the backline, or build the Incineroar up for its 3 energy attack to crack for 140 plus once it's been damaged. I was really impressed with what this deck brought to the table. I think one of the neat things to call out about this build is that the burn from Incineroar being a status condition actually lets you punch through opposing Oricorios, because it's technically not the EX dealing damage, it's Incineroar, so you've got counterplay to that even in a double stage 2 EX build. If you enjoy sweet off-meta decks like this one being explored, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the fantastic things we're going to be covering here as we wade through everything this new expansion has to offer. If you like Incineroar and Infernape, smash the like button on this video. For the rest of the day, have fun. We'll check. We got at least one. I don't actually remember if we opened the second. I think we did. I think we did. I'm gonna communication now, because this could turn into a baby kitty. Nice. I don't have another communication, so it probably makes sense to play this lit now. Apologies. Need to step away for a second after we finish this game. I think that's good for me, yeah. I'd rather they hit this than kill my Chimchar. Equal parts Candy and Big Cat, so I think I'll put the Chimchar up here. This is weak to fire, and there's our Candy. Do we die in the backswing? No, because I can heal. Oh no, wait, I don't have to heal. I'm griefing. I forgot they're weak to fire. Yeah, red wins it. And they're gone. Coolio. Not bad. All right, sorry, I need to step away for just a second. Take care of something that phone call is about. BRB. Baby kitty? Baby kitty. So we're 2 turns off of clearing them. And I think with that draw, we just go up the chain organically, because it means I don't have to burn my red to clear this through a cape, which is nice. And they're not... I guess I lose to Dawn with this line. I was just saying, we're not in danger of getting attacked, but they hit the Giratina, so we actually lose to Dawn. All right. I think it's right to make them have it. A lot of these lists only play 1, but I didn't think about the Dawn before I just played the Monferno there, and I should have. All right, I'm gonna need to draw a baby cat or a our healing card to not die to the Giratina in the back. That doesn't matter unless you also have a cape. They do. Okay. Well, I have the red at least, but that means I don't have red for this later. So I need to draw baby cat basically to have a shot here. All right, 66% to be a baby cat. Oh, it's so frustrating. Never lucky. They're still 2 turns off of attacking me though, which is nice. Because they have to activate this passing their turn. I need math, and the optimal number of stage 1 and stage 2s to put in your deck when running candy. I've been playing 1 stage 1 and 2 stage 2s for the most part. Well, I mean... Okay. Okay. Are they just retreating here then? Is that their plan? A retreat plus our lack of Incineroar, we could still lose this game to like Osiris. I really don't understand why they didn't retreat, but we'll take it. Who's a good little baby kitty? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Didn't respect the cat, chat. This is a new season for Ranked. Yes, started this morning. Everybody in Masters, like I was, is reset down to Ultra 3. A question that's been asked a few times this morning is, Jeff, what decks have you enjoyed the most so far this season? There's already 2 deck highlights up on the YouTube channel that are showcasing some of my favorites. You should check them out. It's a lovely draw. I suppose there's a world where we get punched by a Gallade next turn, huh? I guess they would need Rare Candy, Gallade, and X Speed, which a lot of these decks didn't have room for X Speed last season, and fitting in Rare Candy probably makes it even less likely. Well, the good news is if we draw any Pokemon, it's highly likely we get a Stage 2 that we can utilize. There's what? 2 basics and 1 Stage 1 in my deck and 4 Stage 2s. I think I just burned them down. I'll lose my cat too. Another stretch kick here. Infernape definitely not amazing against a bunch of single knockout points. If they have Cyrus as well, we're in trouble. That doesn't matter. We have lines here still, yeah? Because this puts them to 140, so this is currently finishing. And if they Cyrus this, we could top deck our big cat and still clear them. I think the Pokemon Center lady means we're done. You think Togekiss is scarier now? Every single Stage 2 Pokemon is better than it was last season. But there is a big difference between this is better than it was last season and this is now competitive, when a lot of the things that were previously played weren't very good last season. Is an important distinction. Okay, so we are firmly not dead yet. So we're dead to Cyrus still. But otherwise, they only have 1 point at the moment. And then the monkey threatens to come up and clean. They're dead to our Cyrus, yeah? Okay. Cat is still lethal. Cyrus is... Oh, Cat lets us live. No, Cat does not let us live. Nice Mars, by the way. Can I dedicate this game To every person out there who's like told me and just like gone on and on about Mars. And again, I can't emphasize enough that like they didn't know that I already had the Cyrus, and there was a chance that I didn't have the Cyrus, and they were Marsing me into it actively. And those are the types of situations where like you just don't know, and this card is nonsense because of some amount of the time it's doing nothing like that, and some amount of the time it's actively helping your opponent. And you could just twist yourself into this illogical knot of my Mars is always good, when in reality you just can't ever know. And it's much. I want you to imagine that their Mars was a copy of Cyrus there. If their Mars is a copy of Cyrus, I lose that game. Genuinely, I think all of these decks that are playing Mars would be better off if they just played more Sabrinas and Cyruses. A card that you actually know it's going to work when it does what it does. Gamers, I have been streaming full-time for over 8 years. I've been streaming in general for over a decade. I can count on one hand the number of times I've been angry on stream. I'm just not soft-spoken. So I'm not mad. I'm just, you know, have a voice that I project from my diaphragm. I think I'm pregnant. I will not be paying child support. This communication is so unlikely to find this stage 1, but I think we gotta roll for it still. The tough part here is how our Litten dies to... Our Litten dies to their stage 1 and Candy stage 2. Jonah, thank you for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Ooh, do they not have it? Oh my gosh, they're so cooked if we find a candy. They're so cooked if we find a candy. Holy. Oh, one well done kitty cat, please. This game is too easy. They take 50 with weakness, and then the burn finishes. Good night. It's so insulting to them that they have to flip a coin to not be burned even when they're dead. People think you're mad all the time because you're disagreeable. See, I actually find that dynamic. I'm gonna disagree that I'm disagreeable. And I'm going to explain my position. And this kind of highlights exactly my thought process. I think it's a really interesting that it's viewed as a negative, that when someone just doesn't roll over and be like, yes, I agree with you constantly, and that I expect if you're going to tell me I'm wrong, you need to explain yourself. I'm not disagreeing with you for the sake of disagreeing with you. I'm disagreeing with you and saying, hey, if you want to change my position on something, you need to explain why it's worth changing my position, as opposed to me just being like, no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think that's what Cliff on the YouTube side said. I would frame it as skepticism, or an expectation of the burden of, okay, you want to move my position on something, explain why, as opposed to just being like, hey Jeff, you're wrong. Their Iono taking our Lily away here was unfortunate. I need to draw stage 2 to be in this game still. If we draw either of our stage 2s, I think we're in an okay spot, but it has to happen now. Infernape wins on the spot. Firecat probably also wins, but... yeah, monkey burned him down. We cooked them up real nice. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm always open to being convinced, but you need to actually do some convincing, not just say you're wrong and I'm right. God, I think we've had almost every 1+. It's fun. As someone who has always been an Android guy and never understood why people complained about Android devices so much, like compared to Apple devices, owning my first Samsung, I suddenly understand why Android has such a bad rap among people that ended up going to Apple. Because if Samsung is the flagship Android experience, suddenly the bad rap makes a ton of sense in my brain. It's just like, oh, I get it now. My hand was so bad. Thank you, opponent. Candy plus Big Cat. Candy plus Big Cat. We got one of the two. They turned our 6 cards into 3, but this is one of those examples of, you know, the right cards is more important than more cards. So we now have one of the things we're looking for. And hey, look, there's kind of another, yeah? Got a baby monkey, baby kitty. What firmware does OnePlus use? I don't know which firmware OnePlus uses offhand. It's relatively clean though. There's really not a lot of extra stuff installed out the gate. It's one of the reasons why I've always enjoyed it. What's this do? They can't attach energy to their active Pokemon. Well, that's not very good against Infernape, who retreats for free, huh? Yeah, I was between the Google foldable and the OnePlus foldable, and I was looking to replace my Samsung, and the reviews seemed to favor the OnePlus. And then it had a sale, so I was like, alright, it's meant to be. Like one well-done Mewtwo, please. I'm gonna hold on to this Chimchar because we have a copy of Pokemon Communication in our deck, so we can turn that into a cat at some point. So 30 damage, and says we can't attach an energy from the energy zone. So, I own a, and I have to say, as someone who's only used the iPad and iOS very sparingly, it is deeply puzzling to me that there is no back button in iOS, and every single application uses its get back to the previous page feature in a different way, it feels like. So from a pure interface design perspective, that feels to me like a very strange one. All right, the Cyrus draw probably means we're good to go here, yeah? For anybody who's in software? That's an interesting... Wait, okay, well that Sabrina's bad. We were gonna have maneuverability even if they didn't do that, but that was pretty exceptionally bad, Sabrina. Again, I messed up into their messed up. Yeah. And then now I die to the Mewtwo. I could win if I draw Monferno. If I draw my stage 1, we can win. Oh, I have Candy. Yeah, we were fine. We were fine the whole time. Because I could put an energy on here, Candy into the ape, and then retreat it for free. And I have Cyrus now. Cool. Okay. This game was I did not navigate this game remotely perfectly. This is a card that the next time we play against it, I'm gonna have to think much harder about the play patterns, because I don't know that card is necessarily good, but the way I need to play the game when I'm playing against it is very different.